Sharp housing Bafetsu. So yeah, on this tutorial, basically what I'll be showing you guys is I'll be teaching you guys about what we call clipping. Yeah. So clipping is basically how do we do this? So clipping is basically what happens when you're making a track. You're making a track, right? So you're making a track, and you know that when you're making a track, this is what happens. You're playing a track. This thing is moving. This thing is moving in line with this one here. So now when clipping happens, what we call clipping is basically when this meter here moves and goes beyond 0 decibels. You see there's a 0 there, plus 1, 2, plus 2, then minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, all the way down. So when you're playing this part here, you don't want this thing to go beyond 0 decibels. You don't want it to go to plus 2, or plus minus or plus 1. So you want it to be below 0 always. You want it to be somewhere around here. You want it to be yellow. If it goes there, it's gonna turn red. It's gonna be red, yellow, 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 light yellow, green, 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 that kind of thing. I mean orange, yellow, yeah, whatever. But you don't want that to happen. So I'm gonna show you guys right now. I want you to observe how high it's gonna go. It's gonna go somewhere around 0. So observe. You see that it's on 0 right now. That on its own is dangerous. That on its own is dangerous. It's not on 0, but look at that part there. It's something, it's scraping around -4. There are times when it touches 0. There are times when it gets to 0, because this thing here, this is basically to show you how high it gets. So the highest point is 0 right now. You don't want it to go beyond 0. So what you want to do is, how do you prevent your track? How do you get the volume as high as possible without it getting beyond 0? Because this whole thing is basically determined by your volume of sounds and everything. So how do you get it to be as high as possible and hear all your sounds nice and proper, but prevent it from clipping? Well, to do that, basically all you do is, this here is just a basic beat, by the way, so I'm just assuming that you're gonna have even more sounds obviously for your track. But to do that, what you basically do is you just come here, right click there. So you make sure first you're on master, click on master like that. Then you just right click there, I mean not right click, you just click on that arrow there. Then you're looking for Fruity Limiter, so you click on Fruity Limiter. It's gonna open that thing for you. So now what you want to do is you want to play your track, and you're going to observe for the highest peak, and then on the highest peak, is probably the highest peak should be below this line here. And then you're going to basically just make a ceiling like that's basically saying, listen, I want my track to be as high as the sound goes, but I don't want it to be anything beyond that, because that's when clipping starts. So you want it to be as high as it is now and without clipping. So I'm going to do this here. I'm going to make that there, and then I'm going to play a track. So okay, cool, that's a bit too high. Let me check something. Okay, there's the sound here, it's also high. So let's do this. So let's say we want to make a ceiling up until there. So you're going to play your track like that. Come to this part here, this green thing is written ceiling, C-E-I-L. You're going to move it backwards like that till you see a green line coming down. It doesn't matter how high you move it, but just so that you get the best out of your volume, you can just keep it in line with these peaks here. You can put it there, but you see, the lower you take it, the lower your volume gets. So you want to get as much volume as you can so you can hear your track proper, but at the same time preventing clipping. So it's always best to just aim for the highest peak on the track like that. You see, so now that I've done this part here, aimed it with the highest peak on the track, it basically means that no matter how high I take my volume, no matter what I do from now on, it's not gonna clip. So I'll show you guys, like, check. So let me play my track. You see, so basically now it's gonna be on minus 2.1 decibels. Check here as I put the cursor on the green line. It basically says it's gonna be on 2.7, minus 2.7 decibels always. So it's never, my volume is never gonna go beyond minus 2.7 decibels. No matter what I do, no matter how many sounds I add, it's never gonna go beyond that. So long as this thing is on, so long as the Fruity Limiter is there, it's on. It's never gonna go beyond minus 2.7. So I'll show you just now. So look, now I'm gonna increase my volume of my kick. See, it's high, it's not going beyond 2.7. I'm increasing that. You see, I'm increasing this. You see, but it's still below minus 2.7. It's stuck on minus 2.7. It cannot go beyond that. and that is basically how you prevent clipping. Now I'm going to take this down, and I'm going to do something very risky right now, but I'm going to remove my headsets anyway because I'm wearing headsets. I'm gonna show you guys what happens when you do the same thing, when you increase the volume without having the footy limiter on. So I'm gonna take this back down to there, and that down to there, and that down to there. So let's remove this. You see, remember it was, let's observe for now. You see, it's not going beyond -3. The highest point it gets is -3. Now let me remove this part here. Now observe as I'm going to click off this thing. See, it's still fine, it's still there. My footy limiter is off, but it's still there. Now I want you to watch as I increase the volume of the kick. Do you see that? Do you see that? Do you see how high it's getting? And then eventually it's gonna go beyond -0. You see how this has changed to red? That on its own is called clipping. That already basically means you're just getting there. It's almost clipping, and then eventually it's gonna clip where it's gonna just get stuck there, and it's gonna go red. Then it's gonna make a hell of a noise, and basically it's just gonna damage your ears and your headsets or your speakers and everything. So you wanna prevent clipping. So to prevent clipping, you turn this on, your footy limiter on, and you see my kick is still high, but now observe. See, it's not turning red, it's not doing anything. At the same volume as my kick, as high as my kick I want it to be, but it doesn't clip. So you always want to prevent clipping. You want to make sure that your track is not clipping. So it's one of those key things that you do when you open Fruity Loops, lay down your sounds, play them a bit, observe how high it gets, open your Fruity limiter, set it so that it doesn't clip. So set it. So what do I mean by set it? Do this thing here. Come here, set your ceiling so that it doesn't go beyond that. No matter how high your volume of your sounds are, it doesn't go beyond the highest point that you want it to be. And you want it to be below the purple line always. Want it to be below the purple line always. It cannot be above that point, because when it's above this point here, then it means it's above 0 decibels. This purple line is 0 decibels. Check the screen right now as I put my cursor on the purple line. It's 0 decibels. So this purple line here represents this 0 decibels here. So this purple line there is the same as this. So when this green line is below, it's basically meaning your volume must be somewhere around this range here, below this range here. When this green line is above that, you're saying it must be above 0 decibels. So you saying that your track, your highest volume that your track can go through is allowing for it to clip. But when it's below the purple line, the green line is below the purple, you're saying you don't want it to clip. You're preventing clipping. So you want it to be below the purple line always. At the highest point you can get it, but below the purple line always. So before the 0 decibels. And then you just do that, and you keep your footy limiter on always, and that's going to prevent clipping. And then you can just use your headsets as freely as you want. Nothing's going to happen. You're secure. So yeah, that's how you prevent clipping on Fruity Loops. Feel free to leave a grand subscribe, like my page, comment, whatever, recommendations on the videos, all that just there. Otherwise, see you guys on the next tutorial. Sharp.